Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. In you come. You're all filing in. Great to see you all. Fantastic. Oh, my goodness, so many of you. Now, as everybody is coming in, I'll introduce myself. My name is Alma, and I am the founder of AgriKids. Hello, Jonathan Neelan. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining me today. And I started AgriKids, guys, because I have a very special job for you all. Boys and girls only. No adults allowed, okay? I'm going to make you all become my AgriKids. Is that okay? Because I'm looking for a kind of a team, like a good team of farming knowledgeable people to help me improve the safety on our farm. So in about 30, 40 minutes, probably a little bit longer because I talk a lot, I'm gonna make you all experts in farm safety. And that means by being an expert in farm safety, you can boss the grown-ups around. You can tell them what they're doing wrong, tell them what they need to start doing, help them remember how they can be safer when on the farm, okay? Now, if you see behind me here, I have a little candle lit. And that's just in memory. We lost some more people to farming accidents over the last couple of days, and we've had pretty bad a few weeks. So that candle is lit to kind of help us remember all those people who we have lost recently and further in the past that we have lost, and help to remind us of those people and the fact that farm safety is so important. Okay, so is everybody ready? There's a lot of you here. So let's get going. A few politics first of all. You'll see the Q&A box. Okay, if you have any questions or whatever, pop them in there and I'll do my best to get to as many as I possibly can. Say a quick hello to John Schiafra in Carron in County Clare. I want to say hello to Pierce, Malachy and Emer Curlin. Wonderful to have you along. John Daverin, I'd like to boss the grown-ups. I think you and me are going to get on real well, John. Well done. And also big hello to Dara Russell also. Guys, it's great to have you all along. And any questions or answers, pop them in there. Today's session is brought to us today by Flogas, who are doing so much to help me bring more farm safety education to our farming communities on the island of Ireland. So without further ado, are you all ready? We have a lot of work, okay? We're going to look at some areas around the farm that could be a little bit dangerous, okay? Now, what do we think might be dangerous on the farm? Oh, tractors and machinery. Put up the number ones. That's the number one danger on our farms, guys, tractors and machinery. We're going to be talking about those, and that is doing something we're all familiar with at the moment, isn't it? Any hay going on? Any silage? We actually do the bit in between, the haylage. It's all done, it's all baled. We've fertilizer gone back out to feed the grass again, which is brilliant. Get the second cut in a few weeks. Fingers crossed. We need more rain. We need more rain. Himself. Yeah, livestock. We're going to be talking about livestock, animals, how they behave, how they let us know if we're in a good mood or we're in a bad mood. Just to let you all know as well, I will be recording today's session, so if anybody misses anything or would like the link shared to them, I can do all that, okay? Probably getting a bit of that smell at the moment after the silage. We're going to talk about slurry, you betcha. No climbing on bales, guys. Wobble, wobble, whoop, and you could fall, okay? So we don't go climbing, okay? Oh, hands up if you think you recognize that. Hands up who recognizes that. Oh, well done, everyone, yeah. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later on, okay? But first things first, with all these things on our farm that can be dangerous, how do we remember? What reminds us to stay safe around the farm? Well, on my farm, I use a lot of different signs that help me remember. Have you ever seen any signs, maybe driving in the car, maybe when you're out and about, maybe around the farm? Have you ever looked at their different colours? Do you ever ask yourself, why are they a different colour? Well, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you. And I have a really handy way to help you remember what those colours mean. When you see a red sign, it's a no, can't do it. Keep back. When you see a green sign, Yep, good to go. Green means go. It might be an exit. It might be a place that you have to stand. When you see blue, you have to. When it's blue, you have to. So you have to do something when the sign is in blue. For example, you got to wear boots in that sign. And what about this sign? Yellow and black signs. Why are they that color? Careful. They're telling you, watch yourself. There could be something dangerous there. Okay? And whenever you're in the car, you might see some yellow and black signs or orange and black signs, and they might have a squiggle. Do you know what that means? Who thinks they know what the squiggle might mean? What do you think? Series of bends coming up ahead, absolutely. And if you have a little humpback bridge, you know that there's a steep bridge coming up ahead as well. Okay? So that's why signs are different colors, have different pictures. But where might we see some of these signs around the farm? Well, the first sign I'm going to show you now today. What would that mean? Now, I'll tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean that there's snakes on the farm. I've had that a few times. What do we think? Oh, a lot of hands going up. Let's see, has anybody answered? Who's doing silage soon? Deirdre told you're done your silage. Well done. Emer Wall, you're starting silage. Well done. Let me see. Brenda Thorne, we're going to do questions and answers just in the questions and answer. We're not going to do chats today. We're just going to have all the chat and comments in the questions and answer. Alice Raheen, Marie Conlon, Joe Pospiech, is that correct? I hope that's right. Raymond and Jason Dockery, electricity, well done, guys. And there's loads of places on the farm, isn't there, where we might use electricity? For example, the lights inside the shed, so I can see all my animals. Anybody live on a dairy farm? Hands up if you live on a dairy farm. I need to know how many dairy farmers I have in the group today. Wow, a lot of you. Well, guys, did you know there's more electricity used in a dairy parlour than on any other type of farm? You got your clusters, you got your chillers, you got those really fancy parlours that are robotic. A lot of electricity. So it's really important that, you know, when you're washing out the parlour at the end of the day and you've got milk and a lot of moisture and water, well, that works as a conductor of electricity. So that means electricity can travel through that water. So it's really important that all our connections and our electrical wiring are properly insulated, properly covered, because we don't want what's known as stray voltage or leaking electricity getting into that water, because it could travel. And what might happen if it travels towards our animals? They could get electrocuted. So we always got to make sure that we have all our wiring properly covered off in a dairy parlour, okay? And there's a lot of it. Now, I don't have a dairy parlour. Somebody was asking me what kind of animals there are on my farm. We have mostly horses. We have a few heifers, about 14, but they're just to kind of keep the grass right. We buy them kind of skinny and we fatten them up to go off then for a finishing. And then we have a few hens, very naughty ones, but they are lovely, okay? And we use, therefore, a lot of electric fencing. For example, with the horses, they're divils. They like to eat the wooden fence that goes around the paddocks, and it's very expensive trying to fix that. So I run a little bit of electric fencing along the inside to keep them back, okay? But the electric fencing is really important because it makes sure the animals don't maybe break out onto a road or into a different field. Maybe you're trying to grow your grass there. You don't want them in there, okay? Now, guys, how do we know an electric fence is switched on? Do we test it with our hands? No. Never, ever test it with your hands. What do you think we're going to test? We use to test our fence. Everybody knowing the electricity. Good man, Connor, Joe, Jamie Hastings there as well. Somebody has done slurry. Brilliant. We're going to be talking about that. Hello, Matthew Goodwin. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here now. I'll tell you how you can check if a fence is switched on. Really easy. First of all, use your ears. Yeah, because when the fence is switched on, it's going to make a funny noise. It'll go click, 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 or tick, tick, tick. So we listen for the click or we listen for a tick. We can use our eyes by looking to see if there's a sign up. And sometimes if I have to move any electric fencing, I bring a little portable sign that I can click on and tell people, oh, that's electrical today, don't go there. You could just ask, oi, the fence on, okay? Some people like to use a bit of grass, but you know, just in case your knuckles come in contact, because guys, we can't tell just by looking at the wire how much electricity is going through it. But there's a handy little tool that I like to use that tells me not just that the fence is on, but how many volts, how much electricity is going through that wire. Hands up if you've ever seen one of these. It's pretty cool. There's loads of different variations of this. There's like posh digital ones and everything. Okay. Yeah, this is a fence tester, isn't it? Yeah, well done, everyone. And this bit here, I take it out, a bit of copper, stick it into the ground, and that's going to earth it, which means if this bit comes in contact with any electricity, it'll come up the wire and it'll power my little unit here. You see all those little holes? And they all have a number, thousands of volts, all the way up to 6,000 volts. There you go. So when my fence is on, those little black holes will light up to tell me how many volts is going through my wire. Now, if I leave it at 6,000 volts, what kind of animal would I be putting into my field? I think a bull. That'd be a great idea, wouldn't it? They're fairly thick-skinned, and if a bull kind of gets, you know, to know that a fence is electrical and you might get a little shock, well, if he did charge, he wouldn't go as far as the fence probably, because he doesn't want to get another shock. So that's good to know if he's chasing something or someone. Okay, we're going to be talking about bulls a little bit later on. All right, what's the next warning sign? Can everybody show me your number ones? Right, I want to all see the number ones. Are they up? Yeah? Yeah? But we got some important stuff to talk about here. Tractors and machinery are the number one danger on our farms. So we're going to have a little chat about how we can stay a little bit safer around some of the machinery that we use on our farms. So for example, I have a tractor here. The back wheel, bigger than me. Look, I'm pretty tall. See, I'm pretty tall, haven't I? Yeah. So if it's bigger than me, my little tractor, and this is the sign that we always use in our farm to let people know, oh, tractors, careful. So by standing at the back, I'm only here. So farmers are sitting much higher up inside the cab. So look up now towards the ceiling. Look up there. That's where I am, sitting inside my tractor, driving away. And when we're sitting all the way up there, guys, our line of vision is very poor. There's a lot of blind spots. All we can see is what's out in front of us. So I can't see who or what is on the ground below. In fact, the nearer you are to a tractor, the least likely I can see you. And I can't hear you, soundproofed, and I have the radio on. So guys, do we ever go near moving tractors? Can't see you, can't hear you. Look how big they are. Do we ever play near moving tractors? If you heard the engine of a tractor being switched on, do you run outside and see what's going on? No. As soon as I've started that engine, I could be reversing, thinking, oh, I have to plough that field today, I have to move them cattle, I have to fix that fence, dose them sheep. I'm not wondering if there's anybody coming up behind or coming near my tractor. I'm thinking of all the work I have to do. So when the engine is on, stay right back, okay? If you're standing at the gate and you're watching the tractor doing its little bit of work, it's a pretty good idea to maybe let the farmer know that you're there. So, best way to let me know that you're there, put your hands up and wave. Wave at me. I want both arms going. Hey, they're over here. Let the farmer know that you're there, okay? You might beep the horn, say hey, okay? But never, never, never go near a moving tractor, okay? Far too big, all right? In fact, a good thing to know is where the blind spots are on our tractors. So here we have the viewing area. That's all we can see, bit there. This is very restricted because I have to look like that. I only have about 33%, a third of viewing if I'm looking like that, okay? So this is really the best view that I have. Nothing here, nothing here. The nearer you are, least likely I can see you, okay? Now, AgriKids in training, little job. What What do you all wear when you sit inside your car? Tell me. Tell me. What do you all wear? A seat belt. Absolutely. Absolutely. Show me all how you put on your seat belt when you get inside a car. Click. Very easy, isn't it? So, here's the thing. If the tractor has a seat belt, do you think the farmer should put it on? Put up your hands if you think the farmer should put their seat belts on. Yes, come on. Who else thinks they should put their seat belts on? Well done, my goodness, you guys are brilliant. Yes, we put seat belts on inside our cars to keep ourselves safe and sound inside our seats, and we don't get thrown around the inside of the car. Exact same for a tractor. We call the cab the safety zone. Did you know that? And by putting on our seatbelt, we have a much better chance of being kept safe and sound inside our safety zone. We won't get thrown around the cab or thrown out the side door. So more and more tractors are coming with seatbelts. Really important, we put them on, okay? Now, some people are asking me, how old do you have to be inside a tractor? Well, if you're 7, in Southern Ireland, if you're 7, and there's a seat, passenger seat with a seatbelt, bit like my little pals here, then you can travel as a passenger inside a tractor. At 14, with a license and training, you can drive a tractor just around the farm, okay, not on the road. At 16, though, you can drive the tractor along the road. And for anybody who's listening in Northern Ireland or in the United Kingdom, it's 13 to be a passenger inside a tractor, as long as you have your seatbelt and your passenger seat, okay? Very, very, very important. And lads, if you are in there and you're the right age, remind the farmers to put their seatbelts on, okay? Here's my pal Walter.
Now, always think farm safety first. That's the seatbelt in your tractor before you take off.
And he means that. He really, really does, okay? So seatbelts, very, very important. And also, make sure you are the right age. You want to keep everybody safe because too many boys and girls and adults are getting hurt with tractors. And by just putting on the seatbelt, it can make a huge difference, okay? What other machines might we use around our farm?
Now,
water. Shh. Do you remember this? PTO. Before we talk about the PTO, let's see who wants to say hello to. Who has a pony called Princess Luna? Karen. We're going to be talking about horses very soon. Joey fell off the horse in horse riding. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. Is it okay to stand in the tractor if we hold on? No, it's much better to have a seat so you can sit down because they're very bouncy, aren't they? I don't want anybody getting hurt. About to start silage. Amazing, guys. How many kids can go in the tractor with the driver? They have to be 7. If there's 2 seats, 2 people, 1 seat, 1 person, okay? It's not me who makes the rules. I'm just spreading the message here, guys, okay? We're trying to keep everybody as safe as we possibly can. Now, fence testers, amazing. Using a bit of grass, just mind the knuckles, okay? And ask first, okay? Actually, you know what? Let the grown-ups use the bit of grass, okay? Listen, a stick, that's a pretty good one. Listen for the click. Good man, Connor. Well done, all about electricity. You guys are absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna see if there is, oh, we're talking about foals. Well done, we're gonna be doing that. How many foals do we have? I have 3 foals. We're gonna talk about foals as well a little bit later on. Tractor caution, amazing. Clean the mirrors. Good man, Jack. Absolutely, if you can't see, that's not good. And also any cracked mirrors, we have to be very, very careful of. Do I like farming? I love farming. Farming feeds the world. It's so important. It is so important. Okay, so I want to say, oh, before I go back to my PTO, a very happy birthday to your auntie. She's happy 40th to your auntie, to Lorna in Shrule, who's watching with Gavin, Sinead, Orla and Anya and Liam. So happy birthday, Lorna, you're 40. God, they make a show of you, wouldn't they? It's my birthday on Saturday. Just gonna throw that in there as well. Okay, so guys, back to our PTO. Hands up if you think you know what PTO stands for. And while you're putting up your hand, I'm gonna get a PTO. Oh, I know. I bring this into schools and the children think it's a rocket launcher. No, PTO stands for power takeoff. Yeah. And the PTO is a very important piece of equipment on our farms. You see that bit there? Yeah, you see here, a little bit there. And if you look over here, this is the connection point or the shaft right there, okay? We attach this onto that little shaft, okay? And we got to make sure we hear the click, because then we know it's in correctly, okay? And as soon as I start my tractor, because this is on the back of the tractor, this starts to twist. And when that starts to twist, this starts to twist. And it's twisting and turning up to 9 or 16 times a second. Really, really, really fast, okay? And the reason why it's turning and twisting so fast is because it's powering a piece of equipment that we're using behind us and sometimes in front of us. So what kind of things does the PTO power? Well, a hedge cutter or a mower. A lot of PTO has been used lately. A tedder or a rake, whatever you want to call it. And you see these little things sticking out, the metal, they're called tines. So the one that we have, we fold this up, and because then that's folded up, those tines are kind of eye level there. So to make sure we don't accidentally walk in or fall towards one of those, we wrap them up with a bit of wrap, bit of silage wrap plastic, okay? And that makes sure we don't cause an awful injury, okay? Also, sprayer, yeah. Combine harvesters, you know, the header on the front, that's turning because of our PTO. So it's a very important piece of kit. Because that bar is turning so fast, we want to make sure that no long hair, no loose clothes ever comes in contact with that, okay? Because I don't want this happening to anybody, okay? And to make sure that doesn't happen to anybody, we always make sure we put a cover on our PTO, just like that, okay? All covered up. And not just that, we got to make sure we put our safety chains on, okay? And when the safety chains are on, attached at the tractor and over here on our as in this case a mower, even though this is turning like crazy on the inside, nothing is moving on the outside. So it's always really important to cover your PTO all the way down, okay? And to make sure your chains are on. Now, what do you think? Hands up if you think this is a perfectly fine PTO. Do you think if that's any good? Yeah? Hands up if you think that's brilliant. Yeah, I know. So hands going down. Yes, no, this is not good. We didn't grease it enough, you see, and it got too hot because it was turning so fast, and it cracked and shattered, and that would have exposed the bar on the inside. So you take that off and you replace it with a new one. That one I showed you with the bar and the cover, everything, it's about €120. It's good value. But normally a PTO can be anywhere from 20 up to €60 just for the cover. Pretty cheap, okay? When you consider how important it is to keep everybody safe, okay? Now, remember, I don't want that to happen to anybody, so make sure we always keep our PTOs covered. If you're on the farm the next time with a grown-up, obviously, ask them to show you where and how they use a PTO, okay? Because sometimes it's good to kind of see these things so you understand them more. Now we're going to do a little chat on quads, okay? We use a quad on our farm. It is the best thing because we have some fields that are a little bit far away with horses in there that we put out, okay? And it's important that we can go out with buckets and feeds, etc., to feed our animals that are a little bit further away, okay? Also good to check fences, gates, hedges, make sure there's no gaps, make sure there's nothing there that could hurt the animals, no broken fences. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But guys, when it comes to being on a quad, do you know the way you learned your ABCs when you're learning how to read and write? Well, I thought a great way to remember how to stay safe with quads is if farmers think of their ATVs. Okay? Yeah. So your age, how old are you? You have to be 16 to use the quads that we use on our farms. Yeah, absolutely. And you have to have training. Yeah, absolutely. And do you see this one seat on the quad? So what's the one finger rule? One seat, one passenger. And even though that seat is really long, you might think, sure, there's loads of room for people to sit there. No. The reason why that seat is so long is so we can move ourselves forward and back and shift our weight to keep the quad balanced. Okay, so when we're going up a little hill, we sit forward. When we have to go down, we sit back. And for anybody who rides horses, it's the same with horses, isn't it? Front and then back when you're going down. Okay, so that's why we need all that space to make sure we can ride our quad safely. The V in our ATVs, farmers got to check. We got to check that we have oil, we got to check we have fluid and water, we got to check the tires, a visual inspection, and we got to check to make sure that there's been no damage made to it. Maybe somebody was reversing the tractor poorly and hit the quad by accident and didn't tell us. So we got to make sure that the quad is in good working order, okay? And S, hugely important, our safety equipment, or PPE, which is personal protection equipment. So that's all the things that we wear to keep ourselves safe. So could everything from a high-vis vest. At the moment, we have masks, don't we? Big shout out to my friend Sandra Grimes. She made me a John Deere mask. Isn't that good? So all things like this, we're learning a lot about PPE at the moment, okay? And with the quad, it's very important that we know what PPE that we have to wear. So age, training, visual inspection, safety equipment, ATVs, okay? Say hello to my friend Noel. Noel lives in Tipperary. Hi, Noel. And he knows everything about quad bikes and quad safety. And he's great at sending me pictures of all the equipment that he likes to wear. So, do you see what's on Noel's head? He has his helmet, hasn't he? I've one here. It's so light, even though it looks massive, but it's so light. And you see on the helmet here, I have a visor. Yeah, well, that's to make sure that no bugs or dust or anything kind of hits into your face, okay? We don't want that happening. That'd be awful. All right. And see, that must have been a sunny day. There must have been a bit of a glare because Noel has his shades on, or maybe he's just trying to look cool. I don't know. But yeah, the shades are good if you have a glare. Okay, helps you see. He's also got his high-vis jacket on. Very important. Yeah. And it's also long sleeves and long trousers, especially like if it's cold, you're warmer. Also protects your elbows, okay? Another good thing is good shoes. You need grip. You don't be slipping, okay? You don't be slipping off the pedals or slipping off there, because there could be a lot, even if there's a lot of mud when you're out in the field and you don't have time to clean it. So you might get a bit slippy. And also, and I got these and they're brilliant, gloves. And you see the little bit there? You have a little bit of a grip. That keeps me hands warm in the winter, but sometimes your knuckles are frozen and you also get really good grip. So all things like that are your PPE, your personal protective equipment. And remember, one seat, one passenger, okay? Only one person is allowed on a bike. All right, you see Noel there? Only one person allowed. So we can strap his few bits and bobs up there and get out and look after his animals in the fields, okay? What other warning signs did I bring with me today? But before I talk about them, let's have a look at these guys. Do they know they're ATVs? So even though there's a helmet on here, which is good, there's a passenger, and it's a young passenger, isn't it? It's only a little person, so that is not allowed. And these over here, they shouldn't be smiling. They've nothing to mind their own noggins. They need to put their helmets on. And Mrs. here shouldn't be on it, all right? That could easily turn and flick, okay? Because this guy can't adjust his weight accordingly, okay? So remember your ATVs, super important, okay? Now, the next warning sign. But before I talk about that, I have some questions coming in. Look at them all with their seatbelts. You guys are the best. Alice, Kira Harton as well, Michaela Roach, Alice Rockneen, I hope that's correct. Joe Carroll, seatbelts. Absolutely amazing, guys. Well done. Laura O'Connor, you're a seatbelt sheriff. Keep that up. That's the Road Safety Authority, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. If there is no seatbelt, well, then you can't put it on. I know the farmers can't put it on if they don't have a seatbelt, but the tractors that do have them, they can put them on. And you can also get them fitted, by the way. So you can kind of try that one too. Okay. Now, do I have a tractor? I do. I have a McCormick and I have a New Holland. Yeah. PTO shaft. Well done, guys. Louis Smith has a horse called Jack. I can't wait to talk about the about horses later. Somebody has 6 ponies. That is a lot. That is a lot. My goodness. PTOs can, yeah, they can take off arms and legs. I have a very good friend called Peter Gothery, and Peter lost his leg in a quad accident. So very, very important. Are you allowed to go with the farmer holding on to you? What's that, on the quad bike? No, it's not really allowed. It's not safe, to be honest with you, because anything could happen, because the farmer needs to have both hands on the quad, okay? And they can't move their weight. It's all going to be very unbalanced, okay? So no, they really don't want people having passengers on a quad bikes, okay? Now there are quad bikes with passenger seats. They're about 20-something thousand. So I don't think a lot of us will be having them currently. Elizabeth Feely, what's my favorite animal? I love them. We've just had lambs. We just finished up now, and I absolutely love them. They are so cute. And Oisin, Shodra, and Sonis Dermody, I hope that's correct. You've horses and donkeys. I am so jealous. I want a donkey. Sometimes they are wild. We're going to talk a little bit about how to stay safe around the animals very, very soon. Okay, now, this sign, I'll tell you what, it's not pirates. There's no pirates on the farm when you see that sign. But it does begin with a P. Poison, absolutely. And there's loads of things on your farm which has the poison or the toxic sign. Such as, let me see, oh, you see him? What's he wearing? His PPE. So whenever we're working with chemicals, we need to make sure that we do wear the correct PPE, okay? And I have some here that I'm going to show you in a few minutes, okay? So this sign is a pretty important one, okay? And any chemicals that we have, we actually lock them away, and we put that sign on the door so people know, oh, that's the chemical shed, all right? And only a few people are allowed in there, and if anybody else needs to go in, they have to ask us first so we can find out, well, what are you going in there for? We'll go in with you, okay? So on the farm, there's loads of things that could be poisonous, okay? I don't like these, especially if I'm going to be doing harvest in a few weeks. All that barley, I don't want little rats and mice coming in and eating it. So we put out bait boxes throughout the year to keep away rats and mice. Weed killers, yeah, we don't want them getting into my lovely crops that I'm trying to grow and get a good yield from. Isn't that correct? My dairy farmers, loads of chemicals that you guys, and detergents you have to use to make sure that the clusters are clean, that the tubes and the tunnels and all that are cleaned out as well. So it's very important that you use those, but they would be considered a chemical. And animal medicines, oh yeah, like pour-ons, for example, here, they work by basically you pour it along the back, it gets drunk into the animal skin, and you know it's great at preventing liver fluke and lice and that kind of stuff. But it's very important it doesn't get drunk into our skin or soaked into our skin. So we use gloves like a nitrile glove to protect our skin when we're working with those materials, okay? And a good way to know if something is a chemical or could be harmful is to look at the various symbols that you might see. So some chemicals, they can burn your hand. Some are bad for the environment if they're poured into it. So you got to dispose of them responsibly. Some might go on fire really easily. Some might be an irritant. They might, if they get into your eye, they'll cause it to itch or burn or onto your skin. And some are bad if you breathe them in. But just so you know, it's not just things on a farm. I mean, this is washing up liquid from my house here. And do you see the warning sign there? It's an irritant. Yeah. It's also a full bottle because I haven't used it. And another one then is this. You see, some polish. Great at cleaning the furniture. But we want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere near a naked flame. Okay? So it's really, really important to know what those various warning signs mean. But there's one other thing on a farm that has something poisonous in it. Okay? So we have a chat about slurry. Before we have a chat about slurry, if I have any more questions coming in. Happy birthday, Tiernan, birthday boy tomorrow. Oh, the Geminis are coming in. I love it. Well done, well done. Now, Tyke and Dahi O'Brien, we got our silage and slurry finished when the weather was good. Good stuff. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about slurry. Can anybody tell me what is slurry made from? Here we go. Somebody wants me to give them a shout out, but you're anonymous. I don't know what your name is, but hi. What do we call this? What's slurry made from? What do you all think? Keep it nice, keep it nice. It is poo. Poo and wee. Whose poo and wee would that be? Whose poo and wee? Absolutely. Cows. Yeah, cows give us good slurry. Also pigs. Also chickens. I grew up across the road from a chicken farm. I grew up on a farm in County Kildare where we had beef cattle, and across the road was Cobb's chicken farm. I think chicken slurry is probably the stinkiest of all. Does anybody else think so? I do. I vile. And then just up the way a bit is a pig farm. We get pig slurry as well. But slurry is really important. It's doing a really, really important job. There it is, in action, feeding the grass. Because grass thinks slurry is as delicious as a chocolate milkshake. Yeah, drinks it up, grows green, grows strong, grows delicious. And when the grass is happy and full, then our animals eat it. And then they're happy. Our cows produce more milk. Other animals, beef cattle, get big and bulky, produce more meat. Technically, the farmer should get more money. Controversial. Yeah. So slurry is really, really important stuff. We have to have it. But the reason why we've got to be so careful around slurry, and I want you all to use your imagination now, because I couldn't bring a slurry tank in, but this bottle of cola is going to be our slurry tank today, okay? Over winter, we don't spread slurry. It's too cold, nothing grows. If we get a lot of rain, it might get washed into our drinking water. That's not good. No, no, no. Okay? So, can I tell all my animals not to poo for winter? So that means our tanks get really, really full. And when the tanks get really, really full, and like it's just left there, it all begins to break down, decompose, because there's all bacteria inside here. And they're starting to eat and drink all that poo and all that wee. Okay? And they're producing a gas. They produce like ammonia and methane and carbon dioxide. Can you breathe into your hands? Carbon dioxide. And they're all in here. But in here as well is another gas. Very poisonous, lethal. I call it the sleepy, sneaky snake gas. All right, so it just sneaks up on you. You won't be able to smell it because it takes away your sense of smell. Now, its real name is hydrogen sulfide. And at a very low level, it'll smell like rotten eggs. That's when it's safe. But at that high level, you won't be able to smell it. It takes away your sense of smell. Okay? So come January, when we are allowed to spread slurry on our fields again, we got to do something with our slurry before we spread it, because it's been sitting there for so long. It's all separated. You need to mix it back together again. Does anybody know what it's called when we are mixing slurry? And I'll give you a little hint. It's written there on the top of the screen. Oh, Raymond and Jason Dockery straight in there. Agitation. Well, Louise Smith, agitate. Oisin Shoulder and Sonis Dermody, the slats, well done. That's where it all gathers, isn't it? Agitation from Alice. Sean Mannion says agitation as well. Alice Rockneen, agitation. Donna Corkery, agitation. You guys are the best. Pamela Lane, James Queenie, well done, guys. Agitation. And what agitation is, we use this here, our agitation, like a big mixing spoon, and we lower it into our tank, lower it into the agitation point. And this agitation point is inside the shed. That means something very important, because as soon as we start our agitator, by starting our tractor, powered by our PTO, it all begins to churn, okay? And inside here, with all the poo and all the wee, that hydrogen sulfide gas has been building up over winter, getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's very heavy, it lies low, all right? So it might be just underneath the crust, okay? But it's lying low, it's been grand, until you started agitating. You woke it up, you made it cross. So what's it going to do? That's why I call it the sneaky snake. Up it comes and out. I can't do it anymore. I'm afraid of it. Up it comes and out it goes in one big whoosh. The first half hour of agitation is the most dangerous, because in one whoo, you've left all that gas out. All right, so that's where the most of the gas is, in that first 30 minutes of agitation. So it's very important that as soon as farmers start agitating, that they're away from the agitation point. And we stay away for at least half an hour. But on a windy day, a half hour is okay, because the wind will help the gas blow away. But if it's a non-windy day, it's a bit harder for the gas to get up, because it's heavy. It needs a bit of, woof to get rid of it all. So give it at least an hour, okay? And then we can drain our tanks. We can spread fabulous slurry all over our fields, feed our grass, and hopefully get that second cut in sooner rather than later. A little bit of rain would be nice as well though, guys, wouldn't it? Certainly would. So slurry, it's brilliant for grass, not so good for you and me, okay? Now, remember the yellow signs were, oh, careful. So what were the blue signs? Can you remember what the blue signs meant? Put your hands up if you think you can remember what the blue signs mean. Let's see if anybody guessed it. Put your answers in there. Put your answers in there. What do you think? Let's have a look. Loads of people with their agitation. Well done. Well done. You must do it. Well done. Michaela Roach, you must wear it. Maria Conlon, you have to. Listen, well done. Linda Hartnett, you must do it. You have to, from Ben Payne. Well done, Ben. Good man yourself. Absolutely brilliant. Essential, great word from Evie and Cahill O'Rourke. I love it. Emma Carberry, do it. Caden McLaughlin, you have to. Absolutely, guys. So what do you have to do when you see that sign? Put your boots on. What about this sign? I have them. Put my goggles on. Okay. Do I look cool? Thank you. What else? If you're a builder, you're going to have to know what all of these signs mean. Wear your hard hat, wear your boots, wear your high-vis vest. And here's a blue sign we all know about. Washing our hands. When you see that sign, it means you have to wash your hands. And there'll be loads of places around the farm where we have to wash our hands, especially if we have a lot of animals, okay? Because there's something called zoonosis. And that's when a disease goes from an animal to a person. So it could be like orf that you can pick up from sheep, or you can get ringworm, maybe from cattle or horses. So by keeping our hands clean with loads of warm soapy water is the best way to prevent that. So us farmers knew all about how important it was to keep our hands perfectly clean well ahead of COVID, okay? So it's really, really important to keep those hands clean, okay? Now, remember the red sign? A big no, wasn't it? Absolutely. So very important. When you see that sign, it means no. You're not allowed in there. Stay out. Keep back. No children allowed. Okay? And then green. That's good, isn't it? Yeah, green means go. And that could be over like a door. It could be over a window. And you might even have a green sign in your schoolyard where you all have to assemble, especially if there's an emergency drill or a practice run and that kind of stuff. Okay? So green is always good. Go for the green. Okay? So guys, that's why signs are the different colors, okay? We have our reds, we have our greens, we have our blues, and we have our yellows for careful. One other danger we got to talk about before I go, and they don't wear a sign. The animals. So that's why you got to look at the animals, listen to the animals, and see how they're behaving, see what noises they're making, and that'll tell us if they're in a good mood or a bad mood. So if a cat is going, shh, hissing at you, bad sign. But if a dog is going and the ears are nice and relaxed and the mouth is open, that's probably a good sign. Also, if they're wagging their little tails, isn't it? But what about the animals on our farms? A lot of horse fans in the audience today, all right? And we have a lot of horses here, so it's very important that I know how to mind myself when I'm around the horses. And a good way for me to know is by looking at the ears, okay? Because horses are very good at telling you how they feel by using their ears. So everyone, pretend you have horsey ears, okay? And I'll sit down a little bit. There we go. When horses are happy to see you, their ears go forward. Hi. When they're listening, they're going to twist their ears from side to side because they're following the sound. When they're a bit tired, their ears come out to the side. But if they're scared, cross, nervous, upset, their ears will go back. And that's the warning. When the ears are back, stay back. I've got some horses here today who are using their ears to tell us how they feel. Look, their ears are out to the side. He's feeling a bit sleepy. He's having a lovely snooze. He's got the head dropped, the eyelids are droopy. And I bet you that back leg is resting up. Horses can sleep standing up. They're very clever. This is Maggie with her ears. She's not good, isn't she not? I'll let you in a little secret. Maggie wasn't in a good mood, and Maggie was giving me the warning sign to stay back. But she had a pretty good reason. She really did. About 2 hours before I took that photo, I got a phone call to be told that Maggie had just become a mummy. she'd had a little baby horse, which is a foal, as many of you will know, but it was a girl foal. It was a filly, little boy foal is called a colt. And her little filly foal was in at the back, wobbling around, only a few hours old. And Maggie, being a very protective mummy, was giving me the warning sign, just stay back. So I did. Look at this horse. This is a very good horse. Look at their ears. They're moving, aren't they? They're listening. They're listening to what the rider is asking them to do. Now, I had ponies when I was growing up, and let me tell you, that didn't happen very often. So there's some great horses. But other areas we've got to be careful around horses is when we're maybe feeding them, or when we're on the ground, and where to stand and how to feed and how to approach them. So we see our little friend here. She's trying to feed the horse, isn't she? But unfortunately, she has cupped her hand like that, okay? And that's not a good way. How can I do that? Put my camera on. There we are. It's not a good way to feed a horse with a cupped hand, okay? Because they've loads of space to take the food, and then you take away half like that, and they've got little space to take the food. And I always say, if you can pinch skin, so can they, okay? So the best way to feed a horse is with a really, really flat hand, just like that. All your fingers and all your thumbs tucked in together, okay? And give them loads of space to take the food, because sometimes they just want to suck it up with their lips, or they might give you a little lick as well. And it's nice for them to kind of maybe use their top lip to wiggle at the food, okay? So give them all the opportunity to take the food with a nice flat hand. Now, couldn't bring a horse in here today. So this is my little horsey, and do you see where his eyes are? They're right over at the side of their head. You and me, we have our eyes right in the middle, but a horse, their eyes are spread out far. And that's so they can see nearly a full circle around. But there's two places a horse won't be able to see you. And do you remember we spoke about the tractor blind spots? Well, horses and cattle have blind spots too. And with a horse and a cow, coming up behind them, they won't be able to see you. And that could happen to you. They could let out a kick, because that's right in their kick zone. Where this horse here is kicking, that's their kick zone. So that poor guy didn't see that coming, I'd say. Also, the other blind spot for a horse, it's right here at front. This horse here is grazing. And if he was to hear something, he'd have to lift up his whole head to see what's going on. Because at the moment there, he's in a bit of a blind spot. Okay? So the best place to approach the horse is here, at their shoulder, at the side, because then they can see you coming, okay? Because their eyes are spread out, so they can see what's coming from far away, okay? So horses are great. Another animal I want to talk to you about, and we're going to have a few questions first before I do it. Let me see who would protect. Blue, you have to. You guys are the absolute best. Kayla Schmidt, you have to do it. You do when you see it. When it's blue, you have to. You and Care, blue means you have to do it. You guys are absolutely amazing. I have no issues with you guys and your science. You seem to be absolutely all over this. Don't rub a horse in the middle of their eyes. Yes, it's their blind spot. Well done, Ryan and Leah Moran. Brilliant. Do I have a bull, Lydia? No, I don't, but my granddad did. My granddad had a bull. I don't have a bull, though. Who else? Is a horse more dangerous than a cow? Somebody would like to know? No, they're not. And I'm going to tell you why. I have my bull friend here, big guy, and I have the mammy cow and her calf. Hands up, who thinks this guy is the most dangerous animal on our farms? I'll give you all a few seconds. Yeah. Oh, wow. A lot of you. A lot of you. Okay. Hands up, who thinks cow and calf might be the most dangerous animal on our farms? What do you think? Let's see. Check out my farmers. By a very narrow margin. Well done. Would you believe this lovely animal with her lovely little baby calf is considered the most dangerous farm animal and causes more livestock injuries than himself? But she has a good reason. Remember Maggie with the ears back protecting her foal? During calving and just after calving, the freshly calved cow is very stressed, very agitated, and the maternal instinct has kicked in. So she will kick, she will puck, and she could turn on you like that, only because she's protecting her little one. Not because she's being mean. She's doing as nature intended. She is protecting and she is minding. Okay? Now that's not to say that this chap over here isn't a little bit dangerous. He absolutely is. Highly territorial creature. And let's find out a little bit more about them. So back to our chap here. There's a few things a bull will do to let you know you're not welcome. Don't come into my field. You see that sign? Beware of the bull. Always check for a sign. Always check the field. That chap right there is probably giving whoever took that picture a warning sign. Okay? He's saying you're not welcome. He's staring them down. Okay? And look, he's got a field of cows to mind. He doesn't want anybody in there. Okay? Look at this guy. His head's out a little bit like that. He seems good. He seems happy. Also, both these guys have a ring, haven't they? Rings are great. About 9 months old, put the ring in. All right, because when you put the ring in there, especially at that nostril, it's very sensitive there. That's why the ring is put there. Okay, that can calm the bull. It will allow you to lead and handle the bull. Attach a rope, attach a chain. When I was little, my granddad used to always say to me, my granddad Kennedy used to always say to me, farmers should never put a ring in their own bull's nose because it can hurt the bull. So that's why you get the vet in or you get a professional in to do it properly. Because if you hurt your bull, will he like you? Will he trust you? What's he going to do to you? He's going to charge. He's going to attack you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but you're on his list. And I wouldn't want to be on any bull's list. And look at this guy here. He's tossing the head, paw on the ground. That's an aggressive bull. That's an agitated bull. We don't like them bulls. Absolutely not. And you see the horns. Now we always make sure, take the horns off. Before the age of about 2 or 3 weeks old, before they actually fuse onto the skull, get those horns off, because even if the bull is just playing a little bit, that could cause a lot of damage. That could hurt other animals, that could hurt you. Okay, so it's much safer to get those horns off. His horn has just grown a little bit, but it's turned down. That's okay. If I was to pick my favorite bull here, the bull that's been the best boy is going to be my chap here. He looks like he's actually about to be shown. I think he has his nice halter on. Okay, so these aren't pets. No, bulls and cattle, they are not pets. They're very protective animals. They're very territorial animals. So it's very important that we respect them, that we mind them, and then they will respect us too. Okay, now remember we spoke about the hand washing. We're all professionals at this right now, so we're all going to do a little bit of a hand wash together. Warm soapy water is the best. Okay, absolute best. So you make bubbles. All right, spread them on top, spread them on top, wiggle in, do a little twist, clean your wrist, wriggle in between and rinse those hands till they're nice and clean. Okay, 20 seconds and you're good to go. Okay, now, do you all feel a bit different? I hope so, because you've now just become AgriKids. Okay, so you're actually now technically an expert in farm safety. You've learned some of the do's, some of the don'ts, how to mind yourself, how to protect yourself, what farmers should be wearing, what they should be putting on. We learned about machinery, we learned a bit about slurry, we learned about the animals. You guys have done pretty good, I have to say. So I want you all to take your AgriKids promise with me. And that's your promise to me that you're going to spread the word, that you're going to help me make our farms a much safer place. Okay, our candle is still lit here behind me as we remember those poor people that we have lost. Okay, so remember your promise now. I promise never to go to a farmyard on my own, to never approach an animal I don't know or without the owner's permission, and very, very important, I promise to keep away from all farm machinery. Okay, especially when they're at their work. Okay, because that's when it's the most dangerous. And with silage happening, there's trailers, there's tractors, there's harvesters, everything is go, 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 go. And we're always trying to make sure we get it done before the weather turns. And in Ireland, that can happen pretty quickly. Okay, now, for those of you who listened, I have a little competition. Okay, today I want to say thank you to Flogas again. And if you see the picture here on your screen, if you go on to agrikids.ie, you'll see that picture on my website. You can print that off and find 16 dangers. Just put a circle around them with your marker. okay? And those 16 dangers, if you find them, well, find 10. I'll be happy with 10, okay? But 16 would be cool. I want you to take a picture, moms and dads, if you're all listening, take a picture and email it into me, info@agrikids.ie. I'm going to put all your entries into a draw, and you might win yourself an AgriKids prize pack, which includes a set of the AgriKids storybooks that I've written. My favourite being the brown bull. Okay, so I always think of Barney. And we have the red tractor too, and we have the tree swing, which I read to the younger group a little while ago. All right, so you can get your entries in, and the closing date for that is the 26th of June. Now, before I go back to a few more of your questions to finish up, for the mums and dads who are listening, some helpful tips for you guys also that I like to share and pass on. And I suppose a big one is to make sure no kids visit the farm alone. And to make that, you know, a rule that, you know, you go with an adult. Because the farms are great places to learn and teach kids about animals and science and maths and all kinds of stuff. But they got to go with a grown-up. The hazards are just too big and too many. Okay, high-vis vests, keep them handy for walks or visits to the farm, although research has shown us that livestock don't like the reflective elements within high-vis, and that can spook them a little bit. So even though we know the bull can be colourblind, he doesn't mind the colour red. Did you know that? It's the movement the bull doesn't like. But sometimes high-vis clothes can actually spook livestock, so be very careful if wearing that you're not in and around livestock. Washing the hands to prevent the spread of the zoonotic diseases, reminding kids the importance of keeping back from farm machinery. You know, 8 out of every 10 kids that we've lost to a farming accident is down to farm machinery, so we have to do a lot better. Teach them what the various signs mean. We spoke about the colours, we spoke about the symbols. Now that we're all allowed to go out a little bit more and drive around, we might be able to see more signs that we can have a look at. And I suppose most importantly of all, just talk about farm safety. Make it part of the farm plan, make it part of the farm life. It should go hand in hand with the day-to-day activities on the farm. What are you doing today? Do you have everything that you need? Is there anything that we can do to help to get the job done safer and to make sure everybody comes home in the evening time? Okay, so we'll go back to our competition page and we'll see what kind of questions. My God, they're okay. Is it okay to hit cows with sticks when moving them to a different field? That's coming in from Killian. Yeah, sometimes you gotta tap them on the backside, don't you? To say, oi, in there, in there. But we don't whack them. You just tap them, okay? So yeah, that's all okay. Don't rub a horse in the middle of their eyes. Well done. Somebody has 500 bulls. Roisin Keys, oh my goodness. Ryan Kelleher, the bull on our farm is very quiet, but never trust a bull. That's absolutely brilliant advice. Thank you very much. Raymond and Jason Docker are saying, watch out for mammy. And that's human mammies too. Us mammies can be very, very protective too, you know. Don't go near a cow after calving because they think you'll take the calf. They're very protective of their baby. So we always put the mammy in a crush to hold her there. Then we might give beastnance, tag in air, do whatever has to be done, get out and then release the mammy, okay? What you do if a bull moves towards you? Well, first of all, don't be in the field with the bull. Farmers go in, we go in like a Jeep or a tractor, so we're covered. We can get in and get out. I've known of some farmers, and they're good, they might throw a stick and the bull might chase after that, but you can't be sure, okay? So never go into the field with a bull, all right? He's very fast, okay? Much faster than you or me, all right? Sheep can charge at you as well. Yes, they can. They can. And at the moment, again, the ewes with the lambs are very protective, and they'll do a little headbutt. So all the mammies, we have chickens, we have hens. One started clucking, put some eggs under her. We got some chicks. Then one started clucking again. Now we have more chicks, and now there's another 2 clucking. So we're going to put more eggs under them. So it's going to be like 101 Dalmatians, but with poultry on my farm in a couple of weeks, in 3 weeks, with all these chickens. So, but those hens, they fluff up the feathers like that at you. They can be very aggressive too, okay? Mummies are very protective. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Big shout out to Adam Lines. Now, Adam, how are you? Lovely to have you along. Lovely to have you along. 6 times more dangerous, the cow and the calf. Well done. They absolutely are. They absolutely are. The bull will roar. He'll stamp and grunt like that. Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? Is the bull colorblind? Now, we didn't talk about that. Yes, they are. Some people think wearing the colour red will frighten the bull. No, they're colourblind. They can't see red, they can't see green. They see very pale blue, maybe very pale yellow, but it's mostly shadows and things that move that really annoy them. So you know that awful person out in Spain, the matador, doing all this with the cloak? Yeah, it's not the movement, it's not the colour of the cloak that makes the bull angry, it's the movement that is. So very, very, very careful not to be, you can wear your red, it's fine, but don't be acting silly around the bull. I saw a video recently on social media of somebody being really stupid in a bull's pen. The bull was doing all this with his head and churning, and the guy was there thinking it was funny. It wasn't funny. That was so unfair for that poor creature to have that when they were in their pen minding their own business. So always respect the bulls, okay? And I'm going to give a big shout out now to Tommy Denigan, Maria Conlon, Jack O'Donoghue. Cows like music. I've heard that, and I've heard it produces better milk. I'd like somebody to do a science project on that. And Caden McLaughlin, shout out to you. How are you? Daniel O'Connor, you're away. See you. And will there be another farm safety call coming from James Queenie? Yes, James, and we'll finish on this because next Wednesday I'll be doing another webinar covering this topic again, starting at 10:30 for the 4 to 7-year-olds, and then the older guys again at 12 noon. I have this recorded, so if there's anybody out there who would like a copy of it sent to them, send me an email, info@agrikids.ie. Guys, thank you so much for listening, for taking part, for all your questions. I want you to go out there. I want you to spread the word, and I want you to be the best agri kid that you can be. Take care, everyone, and remember, stay safe.